The same logic applies to the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland taken as a whole. Once we finish the standardized strategy guides, our attractions can officially be open to the public. There's plenty of work to do at the various booths, and the park itself is a work in progress. We'll need to assign dedicated employees to maintain and manage each attraction. There's a recruitment section on the park's bulletin board. We've received many applications, and each candidate has their strengths. Once assigned, the staff will keep the attractions running, ensuring a continuous revenue stream.
Wait, so we've suddenly gone from being playtesters to heads of human resources? That's definitely a first for us. Just don't hold everyone up to your own standards, okay? Alright, time to review some resumes. Fingers crossed we'll get some exceptional candidates. Looks like this particular employee is really getting into their role.
You're both doing great. You sound more like bosses than I do. In any case, with this, the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland is now officially open. Running a theme park is a long-term project. You won't make much if you try and rush it. We're just about done with our current work setup, so let's take a short break and wait for this cycle's revenue report to come in. Well, the numbers might not look that impressive, but given that we're just getting the ball rolling, I'd say that wasn't a bad start. Building on this momentum, we must consider rolling out more unique business strategies during the next cycle. To draw in the crowds, I've invited one of Fontaine's very own celebrity chefs, my good friend Escoffier. She'll be performing right here in the amusement park's restaurant. On that note, let's go catch up with her.
So, is the restaurant part of our business strategy too? There are so many layers to this operation.
The restaurant is up to standard, and the waterside location will make for a unique dining experience. The beautiful scenic reflections in the water create a stunning backdrop, lifting diners' spirits and allowing them to truly savor their meals. Ingredients, check. Cooking utensils, check. Looks like we're ready to rumble.
Hey there, Escoffier.
Oh, my employers are here. The president of the Spina di Rasula, plus the famous traveler and Paimon. I must say, you seem a bit overqualified to be running a film-themed amusement park.
I'd say that if anyone here was overqualified, it would be the former head chef of the Hotel de Boer. Wherever you walk, the aroma of fine cuisine follows in your wake.
Let's get back to business. I'm guessing you want the traveler to help me decide the theme dish for each cycle, right?
This is the business strategy I mentioned earlier. Using Escoffier's top-tier dishes to attract more visitors to the park. But this isn't just about attracting visitors. Her culinary masterpieces will surely have other surprising effects. Just imagine, Paimon, if all you needed was a single ticket to enjoy all the attractions and taste all the legendary food, wouldn't you be tempted?
Then Paimon come every single day.
Now, here's the twist. To get the most out of this strategy, the menu can't be made public. Based on research by a certain food branding consultant, many restaurants have started offering a special chef surprise dish. So give me some inspiration every few business cycles, and I'll decide on our next theme dish. Now then, give me your hand. A warm and energetic feel. Your hands are calloused from wielding your sword, but still quite delicate. When you grasp its hilt, it's like you're holding the bow of a violin. A sword, then. The theme this time shall be strength. All right, let's find out what strength looks like in gastronomical form. I've refined the sauce for these barbecue ribs. It's a richer flavor than the classic version, but not at all greasy. The mint extract in the seasoning leaves a refreshing aftertaste, perfect for indulging yourself after a fun-filled day. But if you ask me, I'd say the artisans need these more than the guests.
The artisans?
As I'm sure you've noticed, this park isn't quite finished. A serving of these barbecue ribs should help the artisans replenish their strength much more quickly. As their bosses, you have an obligation to provide meals for them. So why not invite them to dine here? Who knows? The morale boost might even improve their productivity.
Oh? If I recall correctly, you once served up some special fish and chips for the porters over at the Fleuve Cendra. For several days after, the workers were all incredibly efficient. They'd finish 8 hours of work in just 5. And then, because they clocked out early, they'd come back completely refreshed the next day.
Then there's no time to lose. Go invite the artisans over while these ribs are still hot. I'll prepare some side dishes and desserts too.
That's a great idea! You really live up to your reputation, Escoffier. Looks like these themed dishes are gonna make a huge difference after all. We'll have to make sure we check in with you regularly. The artisans are pumped and ready to roll thanks to that themed dish.
And perfect timing, too. Let's take this chance to take the facilities of our eclectic escapades to the next level.
We should be able to attract more customers by upgrading the stall, don't you think?
That's right. Based on my business experience with the Spina di Rosula, I've quantified the service value to help you intuitively understand how satisfied customers are with each stall. An attraction will reach its ideal revenue only when its service value meets customer expectations. As we improve and expand our facilities, expectations will also increase accordingly. When that happens, we can deploy more capable employees or invest funds in training to enhance our employees' skills. Whew, that should be everything. Looks like you've pretty much mastered how to run this park.
Huh? Have we thinking about it, we have learned quite a lot, haven't we?
Oh, not at all. I wouldn't say I taught you much. Your intuition was guiding the way mostly. I imagine long-term operations sounded like a scary prospect the first time I mentioned it, huh? But don't let that scare you. Just break things down into smaller steps and tackle them one at a time. Even if you're not a genius or naturally gifted, you'll get it done in the end.
Whoa, seeing your own progress has really got Paimon fired up! Actually, she's gonna jot your words of encouragement right down. From here on out, we'll be running the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland together. Let's make it a big success!
unique aroma. I wonder. All right then, I'll just. That unique aroma. All right then. I wonder. All right then.
It's all your fault.
Stop yelling and get to the point.
If you hadn't kept me locked away, he'd have backed me up for sure. And then
For real now? You'd better focus on it.
it's all your fault.
Stop yelling and get to the point.
If you had, he'd have backed me up.
For real now? You'd better.
Let's head over to the Palais Mermonia to see how Kukuku's doing. Hey everyone, we're here! Oh, hey, my little dudes! Good morning! Oh, wow! Kukuku's learned a new greeting! Is that good news or bad news, though?
Sorry, I did everything within my power. But so far, I've only managed to teach him how to say good morning.
Wait, so that's all you've been up to this whole time? Get out of here! Huh? Okay, so good mornings aside, please tell Paimon there's been some other progress too.
Of course. That's why I'm here. Kukuku's not the only one that Mr. Risley's been getting to talk.
It was nothing. These guys weren't exactly tough nuts to crack.
So, what's the deal?
After racking their brains, they remembered speaking to an inconspicuous middle-aged man just as they were preparing to pack up and leave Natlan. He was dressed in the manner of the Children of Echoes and carrying a box. Plus, the description matches the one the gun was found in. All in all, he didn't look any different from your average Natlanese traveler. Perhaps seeing that they were dressed as merchants, this man stopped for a chat, inquiring where their goods were headed, and even asking if they could share a boat. The smugglers were very cautious, though. They didn't tell him any specifics. But all this happened before I crossed paths with them. I happened to notice them as they were preparing to set sail. I thought they looked shady, so I snuck aboard, and ended up being carried along all the way to Fontaine.
Boss, do we know if those Fontanians will even like this stuff? What if we can't craft it?
And that's why we call you a rookie. Supply and demand, kid. Supply and demand. Natlan's foreign trade is just starting to lift off. There'll be a market for it, you'll see.
That's right. So stop giving the boss trouble, rookie. Just do your job and keep an eye on the goods.
Are they merchants? Tame to do business? Scarred face. Calloused hands. On closer inspection, the fabric looks worn at the knees and elbows, and his fingernails are dirty. Not exactly your typical merchant. Could he have previously been a warrior? Or even an adventurer? Something feels off. I'd better sneak up and get a closer look.
Nice thinking, boss. This tourist tub's been fast going and smooth sailing. Plus, no one's been asking us what we're up to.
That goes without saying. Big cargo ship would have been too slow, whereas the smaller ones... If we ended up damaging the goods by accident, all these months spent grafting away would have gone up in smoke.
Seriously? But there's hardly anything here. Would it really have taken them months to prepare? And why would they need to transport it with such care? Could they be secretly smuggling precious items out of Natlan? I'll need to find a way to get to the bottom of this. Let's go hear what these criminals have to say for themselves. Sure enough, there are relics inside the box. It's illegal to smuggle such items outside Natlan.
Hey, why the long face? You're abroad on business, and you get to do some sightseeing while you're at it. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. You better cheer up if you know what's good for you.
I guess you're right. I was just worried I might have messed up with the packing, or that something's gonna go wrong along the way.
Oh, pull yourself together. Tons of foreign tourists come traveling to Fontaine. I bet their luggage is full of all kinds of weird stuff. If someone insists on checking it all, just show them the purchase order you had drawn up. Those Fontainians can't get enough of their legalese, so I've heard. They can look all they want.
Aha. So their aim is to smuggle in contraband after all. Looks like I've gathered enough intel about the smugglers and their contraband. Time to inform port security. So anyway, that was when I went and told the Fontainian guards about my suspicions. After an investigation and a chase, they finally apprehended them and sent them on their way.
Well, guess they're headed exactly where they should be.
Thanks.
Based on your recollections just now,
I was completely focused on those smugglers at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to other passersby.
Yeah, Kanish, you did great.
in other words, the person who brought the gun here, the one who lost it, has no connection to the smugglers whatsoever. They were working entirely on their own.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Sounds like Mr. Kakuku wants to chime in?
He said this elusive individual's actions are positively mystifying.
It's a good observation, I quite agree. However, we still know next to nothing about the person. Perhaps we should start by focusing on the lost item itself.
certainly seems like it was the bait in some kind of trap. The only question is, why wasn't the bait made more conspicuous?
Has something sprung to mind?
I just remembered a film I watched this one time.
Huh? Oh, wow! No way!
Hold on, let me explain. Just now, the traveler speculated that this box might have been placed there on purpose, as if the intention was for someone to come pick it up. That got me thinking about those films about kidnapping cases. When they demand their ransom, the kidnappers tell the victim's family to leave money or valuables at a designated spot for someone to come pick up.
That doesn't merely happen in films. There have been similar cases in real life. In fact, if anything, it's probably the real-life events that inspired the films.
Sounds...
Ooh. Wait. This raises the stakes to a whole new level. If the gun really was some kind of ransom, then... Since we took the box, the kidnappers never got their payment, so... Does that mean they executed the hostage?
I agree. I don't believe we have a kidnapping on our hands. Selling off stolen goods is extra work that most kidnappers would want to avoid. Unless they're after something very specific, they tend to just ask for cash. Could we be dealing with a kidnapper who's dead set on getting their hands on an ancient dragon handgun? It's not impossible, but the likelihood is very slim. We can discount that possibility for now. And speaking of selling stolen goods, don't you think this looks more like a transaction?
So, bottom line, this was an individual smuggler at work.
Exactly. And it was the location itself that caused the deal to fall through. The last thing they would have expected was for a quiet beach to turn into a bustling film convention overnight. Not only is the area now packed with tourists, but the Spina di Rosula have a presence there. I'll bet that both parties were completely caught off guard.
That sounds like a plausible theory, but how do we verify it?
Looks like your people better start rolling up their sleeves.
How so?
Easy. Just follow the usual procedure by putting up a lost and found notice. The more routine we make it seem, the more likely the suspect will come forward to claim it. Even if they send a proxy, we're liable to get our hands on new leads. And timing-wise, it's about time we updated the bulletin board anyway. All we need now is a lucky gestionnaire to write up the notice for us.
That's what you meant by in that case, I may as well. Getting this to someone else would require an additional explanation.
Or are you just not used to asking others to work overtime?
Is that really a major concern here?
Well, looks like I won't be needed around here. At least until the notice has been posted.
You could always wait here if you like. The Palais Mermonia serves a particularly fine cup of tea, if that swings it for you.
Thanks, but no thanks. I left a very noisy creature with a friend before heading out, so I should probably get back to feed it.
Ah, I wasn't aware that you had a pet, Mr. Kanich. Speaking of pets...
Get out of here! Out of here!
Yep, that's the plan. Out of here indeed.
I believe that what Wriothesley is trying to say is, you are free to leave, Mr. Kukuku. Furthermore, it has been determined that Mr. Kukuku should not, in fact, be classified as a flying object. As such, he shall be free to move around Fontaine whenever he so pleases.
You're the best, bro! Oh, that really is good news! Travelers, should we bring Kukuku back to Aoife and Auroran?
I shall leave him in your capable hands. Indeed,